What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Danny the Bull, and I'm back with another video for my OMI homies. And today I want to talk about the current state of Veve and give you what I believe is an objective, rational analysis of the state of Veve. I want to talk about the Star Wars drop, the edition sizes. I'm also going to get into yesterday's video update from Dan and Dave and give you my analysis of that. So stick around. There is a lot to talk about. If you like this sort of content, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is linked down below. So we all know it's been a rough few months for the Veve marketplace. Collectibles continue to bleed and go down on the secondary market. Pretty much every new drop is going below retail at this point, and a lot of the older stuff continue to bleed. Now, to be fair, this is not isolated to Veve. This is not a Veve problem. This is market-wide. NFT trading volume has collapsed 97% from the January peak. All right, so this is not, again, isolated to just Veve marketplace. So the dynamics of the NFT market have changed, and in my opinion, Veve has yet to adjust to the new dynamics. Edition sizes remain high, and that has the consequence of draining liquidity from the secondary market as people continue to sell some old stuff to buy new stuff. So we had the Star Wars drop this week, and it was a pretty significant drop, the first Star Wars vehicles on blockchain in history. The TIE Fighter drop. This is an iconic Star Wars vehicle, but the edition sizes were just way too high for the demand, almost 12,000 of the common, and then you throw in another 3,000 of the ultra rare, so that's a 15,000 edition drop. Now, last I checked, I think something like 2,000 of the commons were actually sold, which means that about 85% of the supply is still sitting on the shelf. And to me, that's a wasted opportunity of such an iconic, significant drop like the first Star Wars vehicle ever on blockchain. This was a big deal. However, the edition size kind of crippled it from the start. And there are really two narratives that are being pushed out by people, all right? The first one is that Veve is increasing edition sizes and building this for the future, and that down the line there'll be many more users using the app and buying collectibles, and they need to have inventory on the shelves. The other school of thought is that these high edition sizes are killing the secondary market, which will cause current users to leave and will have the opposite effect of it won't attract new users because they're not going to be wanting to buy something that's going to decrease in value shortly after they buy it. Now, I am of the belief that you set your supply to meet demand, and in doing so, you create more demand. And this is how things work across the entire collectibles industry. When Pokemon first dropped, they weren't dropping billions of inventory in order to meet future demand. They've scaled over time. And in fact, Pokemon is still scaling to meet demand of new collectors. As this article points out, it's been nearly impossible to get Pokemon cards over the last few years. The Pokemon Company is now ramping up production to address the high demand. The Pokemon Company produced more than 9 billion cards in the past year alone. That's more than double the rate of the year prior. What works in the collectibles industry is a model whereby you constrain supply to increase demand, and over time, as you attain more users and bring more people into the product, you increase your supply accordingly so that they have access to new drops. Now, if I was just getting into Pokemon now, it'd be quite expensive for me to buy first edition cards from 1999. All right, and that's because the supply that was created back then wasn't created for the billions of people who are collecting now. It was created for their current user base. And as their user base grew, demand for those increases. They could become more expensive. And this is how the collectibles industry works. Now back to the Star Wars drop. Now again, this is a significant drop. It's pretty dope. I'll be looking to definitely pick one up at some point on the secondary market, but 12,000 additions for the common is probably 3 to 4 times more than the number of users or collectors in Veve right now. We probably have 3 to 4,000 people who are really collecting at this point in time. So this edition size is way too much, and I'm not suggesting that they need to cut their editions by 85 to 90%. I think that if they dropped 5,000 of these commons, they were more likely to sell those out. But I think the majority of people are just completely deterred and turned off from buying this because there were so many drops. They would actually have made more money off the drop with a 5,000 edition print run. Because even if they didn't sell out 5,000, they would come closer to selling out 5,000. Now, I also don't buy into the narrative that Veve is creating these high edition sizes for the benefit of future consumers. All right, I think that Veve is a business, and the objective of a business is to generate money, and they will do that by selling as many collectibles as they can. And there's nothing wrong with that. They have to get paid, right? They're in this to make money. That's why you start a business. They also have to scale their business, and so they need to generate as much revenue as they can in order to scale the business and create things like the Veveverse, upgrades to the app, to pay new developers, to really just to create better products in the future, right? They need to sell as many collectibles as they can to generate as much revenue as they can. And so I just think they need to strike a balance, one in which they are generating that revenue and selling enough product, but at the same time, maintaining the value of their drops and not killing the secondary market. And I think that they will, because I think that the market will dictate how they, their future actions and their future edition sizes. So now sentiment in the community has been down. I think that's to be expected because price action and FUD have an inverse correlation. When prices go down, FUD goes up. Now, there are a lot of people in the community who have intelligent things to say. There's a lot of good constructive criticism that opens up good dialogue within the community to try to move things forward. On the flip side, you've got people who just complain about everything incessantly. All right. And when you complain about everything, you're basically complaining about nothing because everyone tunes you out. All right. And then on the total other end of the spectrum, you've got the Moon Boys who refuse to say anything that can be construed as negative about Veve. This is the truth about Veve as I see it. Veve is a young company. They've accomplished a lot in a short amount of time, probably more than they should have accomplished. They started in this space before 90% of us even knew what an NFT was. So early, in fact, that their choice of blockchain was GoChain, which is now obsolete, and they've had to retrofit much of their technology, all right, onto new technology. And this, of course, has also caused delays. But the bottom line is that Veve is still a very young company. They're still growing. They're still learning. They've made some mistakes. They'll continue to make some mistakes because that's what humans do. But I think that they do learn from their mistakes and they do try to get things right. Case in point is their communication style. Early on, it was pretty horrific. I think we can all agree that they set their expectations for the community way too high and they under-delivered. Since then, they've taken a different approach. I think they've been better at communicating expectations and setting or not setting specific timelines. Veve is far from perfect, but at the end of the day, I believe in this team. I believe in the partnerships and the licenses they've secured, and I believe that they'll continue to secure new partnerships and that they'll build out this ecosystem in time. And when we look back in the year, from the year 2025, it's not going to matter if the Veveverse dropped in Q3 2023 or Q2 2022. It's not the timeline won't matter. All that'll matter is if they got it done. All right. And so I do believe that they will get things done. Now, yesterday, Dan and Dave released another video update talking about what's to come in the coming weeks. Effective Monday, all new drops will have metadata accessible on the blockchain. This is a big development because it negates that narrative that these aren't real NFTs because there is no metadata accessible. All the older drops metadata will be available in the next 4 to 6 weeks as they continue to work on that. Another big development coming is crypto pay-in and payout in the app, in the Veve market. This is also a big development, allowing people to put money in through crypto instead of on a credit card. All right, this is a big thing for people who have a lot of money, who are looking to put a lot of money into Veve. It's also a big step towards OMI utility. Now, they also mentioned that they're experiencing some technical difficulties in regards to the search bar and the master collectors program, so we shouldn't expect these things to roll out until end of the year at earliest. My thinking is it'll probably be Q1 2023, but I do think that they're getting things lined up little by little, incrementally. They're getting things done, and that 2023 will be a pivotal year for Veve and the OMI token. All right, now, last thing is New York Comic Con is right around the corner. Your boy's going to be there. I can't wait to meet Dan and Dave and the team. Reese is going to be there. They have their Marvel exclusive drops starting, I think, on Wednesday. 5 days of Marvel drops, including the first appearance of Daredevil. They've got a super limited Spider-Man comic dropping with the first appearance of Mary Jane. So these should be pretty anticipated drops. So those are my thoughts on the current state of Veve. I don't think that Veve is perfect. I think it's a work in progress, and I think that's okay because the team will continue to move forward, and I do believe in them and their products. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video on your way out, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Twitter. I hope you all have a great weekend. As always, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe. I will see you in the next video.